Format. Clear formatting.
All right, they can hear us now, and let's just bring it up.
There you go. A lot of background noise from you all of a sudden.
A lot of background noise from me?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Hang on.
Like when you're talking, I suddenly hear like a fan and people in the background.
Weird. All right, hang on.
I noticed that your audio is perfect for Grubb Snacks.
I haven't changed anything. I don't know. Let me turn this off and turn it back on.
Any other news?
All right.
That's better.
Okay, is it better? You think so? All right. Well, we'll just have to go with it and then trust the process.
I mean, it's not a very big deal. It seems better. I don't know.
Okay, good.
Because I didn't say anything because I know you're probably all worked up and scared now.
I mean, I'm always worked up and scared, but yeah, no, I'm worked up and scared about your stuff too that you're talking about. All right, we're gonna get started here in a second, everybody. We're doing our mic check. Mike's checking the news. If there's any other news you guys want us to talk about, not that you guys can see our list, but any big headlines this week, mention it in chat.
Yeah, I'm sure people can ask questions. Audio sounds good, says Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Thank you, Kung Fu Hot Dog. All right. What do I need to do to make this work? I think I just need to hit start recording here.
Yeah, we saw. I mean, NetherRealm did a tweet that was like, "Yes, we're done working on Mortal Kombat. Working on our next game now." Which, I mean,
right,
of course,
surprise, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's news still.
We didn't talk about Bloober.
What's Bloober?
Konami is working with Bloober.
That whole thing. Yes.
I hate the name Bloober. I'm sorry, Bloober, but I hate saying it.
I think I like the name Bloober. There's a restaurant in Disney World called Spoodles. I like very stupid names. I never ate there, but I loved the name Spoodles.
I mean, you are Mike Minotti, so of course you like stupid names.
Wow, Jeff Grubb. Grubb Snacks.
Shut up.
Fuck you.
Shut up. My name's actually stupid, so shut up. All right, hang on. That looks good. Did you update what you've been playing? Super Metroid. Okay.
What a spoiler!
I know. hey, early spoilers for people who got in early. All right.
I have to open up stream elements.
I should probably just tweet one more time about it.
Yeah, tweets, you dude. You're a powerful gamer tweeter.
Powerful gamer tweeter. I believe you.
Well, you should. It's true. Oh, what a night. What a long week. I didn't even work on Monday. This week felt like it took forever.
Yeah, it did. Did I? Okay, no, you took some time off on the earlier this week. And
I was sick on Monday.
Right, okay. Man.
Hey, wait, we have to talk about our Sea of Thieves adventure. I almost forgot. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, put that on there.
Yeah.
We did that like that weekend, so it's like right after the podcast.
We did it like on Sunday. Yeah.
Okay. Podcast starting now. Come watch.
Come on, come on. What else we got here? Gaming startup raises money. Okay. I know. Jeff played a game with me for like 40 minutes over the weekend. It was crazy.
And then I had to go do a podcast, all right? Not my fault. Well, I mean, you can't blame me.
Who does a podcast on a Sunday?
Jeff Kanata does. Everyone should go listen to it.
That's some words.
DLC.
That's some words that Jeff needs. Oh, gosh. It's just because he's Jeff also.
Yep.
You can't stop yourself with all these Jeffs.
All these Jeffs. I feel like oh yeah, one more thing. I was going to put a pinned tweet about super chats.
Play a song for you, all right?
Yeah.
I one time thought I wrote that song. Yeah, then I'm like, oh, that's just Kiss. That's just Seal. I played that.
That was just Mr. Heidi Klum there.
Listen to this sweet melody. They're like, yeah, I liked it at Batman Forever. I was like, shit.
All right, everybody. I think we're ready. As ready as we're ever going to be. I have the rundown. I need to hit record. I've already tweeted. I've pinned the tweet. Thank you, Patrick Morgan, for the early super chat. Good looking out. Mikey, are you ready?
Yes. I wanted to scare you with that pause. Like maybe
you did. Why would you do that? I'm not in the mood for you today. That's the problem. This is the problem. I'm not in the mood for Mike. No, Mikey's happy, and yet I'm still not happy. All right.
Hey, look, as long as Mikey's happy, we're all happy.
It's not working. All right, I'm gonna. Let's do. Oh, no, that's a thing.
We got an angry super chat for you. I'm excited.
Yes. Killer of Xbox.
From a guy.
It's the same guy, Mike. It's always the same guy with a different name.
I love. Yeah, he always gives you $1.99. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited. Thank you, Killer of Xbox. That's good stuff. I'm actually grateful.
Oh, let me get it. This is the right one. No. There we go. You could hear that?
Yes.
All right, we're ready. You good, Mike?
False alarm. I was ready to go. Okay. I was like, why are you talking? That's the intro. Shut up.
I was just testing it because NVIDIA broadcasts off. I just got to remember to turn it back on once we start.
10 seconds. I'm a little warm. I'm gonna lower
yeah, go. I mean, yeah, I feel that. Ugh.
It says it's 67. I feel like I need airflow. Oh, you guys see? I have a new thing up on my. You can barely see Sonic behind that orc, but I found my original Sonic the Hedgehog doll that I slept with as a kid. He's back there now.
Aw.
Digging around my basement for all this GameCube stuff.
What do you mean for all this game? Well, you know what? Let's just talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, what the hell?
All right. Let's do it. I'm gonna hit the button and then 5, 4, 3. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. I thought I was muted for a whole second there. Welcome to the GamesBeat Decides podcast. It's going to be a rough one. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of games so you don't have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeffrey Grubb. With me is...
Mike Minotti. I feel fine. You're a mess, apparently.
You know what it is? This podcast...
I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. You save all your good energy for Grubb snacks now, and now
this podcast is free. I just give it away.
Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
Why bring the A game, really? Come on. I mean, I don't have any assistants anywhere around me. This is for the love of the game right now.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not making animated intros and outros for you here.
Get to work, Mike. Come on. Jeez. And then I stayed up all night watching Ted Lasso. I don't know why I even started it, but I did, and then I watched all 10 episodes. That's the life I lead, Mike. This episode's gonna have news, it's gonna have games, but really what I want to talk about is we have ascended and we are the beef and cheddar boys for real, Mike.
We're getting there. The ultimate goal hasn't been achieved. We're not sponsored by Arby's yet.
You're right. We are meat fluencers.
Good.
We said we were meat fluencers, and we're definitely meat fluencers. That's true. But Arby's reached out to each of us individually and said, "Hey, we're gonna send you a care package or something." I don't know. They asked for my shirt size.
They asked for the shirt size.
At least
the
shirt.
best part was I was so excited. I messaged you and I showed you what they sent me, and you were mad because you thought they only sent it to you, and you would lord it over me.
Yes, exactly. That's what this podcast was going to be this week. It was going to be a ha ha ha, and then of course we would have figured something out. But you're right there with me. You're right. They know Mike Minotti is also a beef and cheddar boy.
Well, I'm the real brains behind this operation. Remember when you were treating it as a joke and you didn't believe, and I had to be like, "No, Jeff, we're serious about this."
I still am skeptical they will ever pay us money, but they don't need to know that.
Look, it doesn't have to be much.
No.
Send me $1, and then we can just say
it, right.
I want a logo.
Yes.
Here. I just want the
we just
logo
honestly just want Arby's to buy a spot. We'll frame the dollar.
And
we don't care.
I want them to know and be okay with it. We can't just put it there. That's no good.
All right, we're gonna have to time out Starfall in the chat for saying Arby's is disgusting.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a bannable offense now. We are meat influencers.
Yes,
we are
please.
the beef and cheddar boys and girls. We don't discriminate.
That's right.
Or we're all beef and cheddars.
Yeah, it's the beef and cheddar gang for all of us. Yeah, that's you know, like what does PewDiePie call his like? But Greg Miller calls everybody best friends. Everybody's a beef and cheddar gang member here. So.
Yeah, something better with gang. Something that rhymes with either B or C. Beef and cheddar.
Beef and cheddar club.
Right. You have to be cha. Beef and cheddar. We'll work on that.
Okay.
We'll
beef and cheddar cheese.
All
right.
Beef and cheddar brigade's not bad. Beef and cheddar brigade.
Beef and cheddar brigade. I like it.
That's
okay.
not bad, Miles. That's not bad.
Thank you, Miles.
That's our leading option so far.
All right.
Beef and cheddar chums.
Beef and cheddar chums is really good. Okay, everyone, keep them coming. I'm gonna do the credits. I'm gonna do the credits real quick, and then I want to ask Mike about digging around in his basement, and then we'll talk about some news.
The beef fleet. Oh man.
Beef fleet.
The beef fleet. The meat fleet. The beef fleet. Okay. Sorry. We got video games. Right?
Yes. We're gonna get all that. Thank you for joining us. You can get more from Mike and me at GamesBeat.com. If you have something to share with us, email the podcast, games+podcast@VentureBeat.com. Thank you to Carlos Ayin for the use of the music, the theme song at the beginning and the end. If you are that's Insane in the Rain music on YouTube, so look him up. He's fantastic. If you're listening to this on the website Player Widget, you can subscribe to the podcast version on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever your pods are caught. If you like the show, rate us on Apple Podcasts, and if you're watching live, hit that like button. It really, really helps people find the show while we're live. We really appreciate that.
Smash that like button.
Smash
hit that
the like
subscribe button. Ring that bell.
Ring the bell. Join the Discord. The link is in the description, but it's also very easy. It's discord.gg/gamemess. Come hang out with us. There's always great conversations going on. Like, I'm always busy these days, and yet every time I check in, there is a cool conversation happening in the Discord. And then you can get into the secret channels inside the Discord and support some of my other stuff like this show and some of my other podcasts by going to patreon.com/Jeff Grubb. And yeah, you can get to the industry secrets and the podcast producers channel if you do that. Okay. Mike, you were digging around your basement for GameCube stuff. What for?
So like in my bedroom right now, I actually have the old CRTV that I had growing up with like the stand. And when Amazon Prime Day was happening, like, what do I even want to buy? I know, some GameCube cables so I can hook up my old GameCube. So I bought the cables, but my basement's a mess. So I was literally spending days just digging around, finding all my GameCube games, So I found like AJ's GameCube. I found the Japanese GameCube that I made my dad buy 2 months before the American GameCube came out because I was a brat, which I guess I play U.S. GameCube games. And I think I finally found my GameCube too. And so I have it plugged up. I have everything ready to go. I played a little F-Zero GX, and that is still very good. Still just upsetting playing it. Like, just make this again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, how can we possibly innovate on... I know we made like 4 new Super Mario Brothers games in 5 years, but how can we possibly innovate F-Zero? We can't make one unless we do. So, fuck you. But it's been super fun. The only thing that's upsetting is the one game I haven't found yet is Smash Brothers Melee, and I'm pretty sure my memory card is in there with like all that stuff. So I'm going to be tearing the basement apart. Maybe not this weekend because it's a holiday, but and I'll be busy getting slizzard. But maybe next weekend I'm going to tear it apart. But I found my Sonic the Hedgehog doll that I got from the local Best Buy when it opened in like 1994 that I would sleep with as a kid for a very long time. Had that thing around forever. So finding that was an emotional moment. Like, oh man, this guy. So now he's going to watch over me when I do the podcast forever. So good stuff.
All right. Well, hello, Sonic. Thank you for joining the Beef Fleet.
Fleet, the meat fleet or beef fleet?
Something. The kind of funny beef friends.
Beef and cheddar chums.
Yeah. We could. Beef and cheddar brigade's pretty good still. All right. We get
lasagna just said a super chat. Well, I'm not getting to it now, but I'm looking forward to this. I'll just do it.
Just do it.
Veggie Lasagna asks, you ever fart in the bathtub and bite the bubble? I'm not that quick.
Yeah.
Reflexes aren't that good.
Yep. I mean, I'm still kind of recovering from the fart by the time I realized I could do something like that. So
I'm still too proud of myself. I'm still basking in that afterglow.
Yeah, the afterglow. Yes, exactly. So no. Good thought, though. Good thought. Thank you for bringing that to the podcast. We appreciate that. But Veggie Lasagna.
We better talk about some video games.
I guess so. Let's do the news.
Besides for the super relevant GameCube.
Yeah, right. No, that was some video game stuff. You brought it. We're fine.
There we go.
You can hear that zero sugar.
Crack it open.
Dead Space. That's coming. That's real. I posted the story on GamesBeat.com this week. And I talked about it on another show called Grubb Snacks that you can watch now.
Sounds awful.
Yeah. And it's going to be a remake. It's going to be a reboot / remake, a requel. I don't know. They want to really start the Dead Space franchise over, but they also want to like take advantage of what sort of the model that Capcom has really made popular with Resident Evil 2 Remake. And they saw that was working very well. And they just kind of want to do that with Dead Space, and so they're going to do it. But it's not going to be like a one-to-one recreation. I mean, kind of like Resident Evil 2 Remake also isn't a one-to-one recreation.
Right, exactly. It's more that, unless like a Shadow of the Colossus remake was a pretty almost one-to-one remake, just better graphics. It's not that.
And the idea is to reboot the franchise. So it's a remake to reboot, and they're going to bring in a lot of stuff from one, obviously, but I think they might also look at some of the other games, maybe like Dead Space 2, and say, hey, there's some cool stuff there. Let's start like laying the foundations for that here, and then as we build this franchise out again, maybe we can start doing new stuff as we do if we do a Dead Space 2 remake or whatever.
It's like, I mean, Dead Space 1, I really liked that one. I think maybe even more than 2. Maybe I'm alone that. Maybe I need to play again. But there's almost a smallness to Dead Space 1 that I liked. Not small, but it was pretty well contained in a really nice, pleasant way. That was good stuff. Like I almost feel like you maybe don't have to do too much like a Resident Evil 2 remake. I'm sure there's going to be these deviations, but Dead Space 1 was already pretty fun. Yeah, and
this is something that I think we'll probably hear about at EA Play, and no guarantees there, but I think we will. And it's something that we were going to plan on keeping this one close to the vest, Mike. We've known about this one for a while. And
you told me about this forever ago.
Right. And we were gonna I was like checking around, like, hey, can we say anything? And of course, like that turned into, like, honestly, like you did say dead, like when we were teasing it, but
I did, yeah, I got that, but you were getting so many leaks lately, Jeff. I wanted to jump in there.
No, it's fine. It was fun. But
everything.
But like, even if you didn't say that, like, what other game could it possibly have been?
Everybody was guessing. At the first time you ever hinted at it, a million people were saying Dead Space in chat. So that's why
it's not going to be. It's not going to be Dante's Inferno.
It's not going to be Dante's Inferno. They already tried with Mirror's Edge and it didn't work out. Like, what else is it going to be? Yeah, and we started joking about NBA Live. They're not actually doing NBA Live, so no.
Yeah, that one's still on the sideline for quite some time. I think that team that would do NBA Live is doing golf and doing NCAA football, actually, and then a few other, and like one other sports game that I cannot remember ever. So yeah, I guess. What are your thoughts here? Do you think this is going to work for them? Do you think that EA can pull this off with Motive, the team that worked on the campaign for Star Wars Battlefront 2, and what else did they do recently? Did another thing? And
was that Squadrons? No.
Yes, Squadrons. Yes, Squadrons.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, makes tons of sense to me. I think they can pull it off. You just kind of follow that Dead Space frame there, pretty much. My big question is just how much are you going to change / update? But yeah, people like Dead Space a lot. I think it's been almost the right amount of time in that it's been kind of almost too long. So people are pretty. I think people will be excited to see it come back. Any of like the sort of bad feelings there were after Dead Space 3 wasn't what people wanted to be. That's gone. People just think about Dead Space 1 and 2 now. So yeah, I think it makes a ton of sense. We'll just see if EA can not get in their own way, right? Like, presumably the whole idea here is like, we want to do what like Capcom's do, just make a really good single player game,
right?
So hopefully they don't try to live service it up somehow or another.
Agreed.
But we'll see. I think it should be a home run.
Yeah, I think some people in chat are saying that It doesn't make sense because you can go back to Dead Space 1 right now and it holds up and it's very good still. And that's that I'm sure yes, that's true. I just downloaded it again. I'm going to try playing it a little bit here in the next couple of days and just kind of see where it's at. But I believe people, because everyone's saying this, like they just played it last year or whatever and it still holds up. That's a little almost besides the point. The point is that you can go on Steam right now and buy Dead Space 1 for $5, and EA wants to sell it to you for $60 or $70.
And I'm sure they're going to make it, like I said, Dead Space 1 was, I almost liked how it was kind of smaller, but I'm sure they're going to make it longer. They're going to make it bigger. They're going to do all sorts of things.
And it's the thing that we heard about with I was going to call him Nasty Dog. Mike, it's a rough. It's
Naughty
good.
Dog.
Yes,
Oh,
Naughty. I know Naughty Dog.
one.
I just for a second, Nasty Dog is what came into my brain.
You're gross.
Yeah, that thing with Naughty Dog where they're like, hey, we're in the support studio that was like, we're gonna remake Uncharted 1, and like, oh well, actually that's too much work, so let's remake Last of Us 1 instead, because that's more recent and it will require less like work and less design chops or whatever. And probably the same thing is happening here, where Dead Space 1 is just far enough away that you could get away with the remake. The series is defunct now because the DLC for Dead Space 3.
Well, they killed the studio.
Also. Yeah, they killed the studio, and it's in a place where it's like, yeah, a reboot and a remake all can work, and then they could sell that to people for $60 to $70. And I bet they've done some research that shows people will go pretty nuts for this game. And they want to have these things after Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. They want to have these kinds of things in their lineup to kind of keep people engaging with EA stuff and keeping people feeling a little bit better about EA stuff while they're also doing Apex Legends and all their live service things. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Space Dovakin just asked if it's related. So a Dead Space director's cut. I don't even know if that's quite right. I mean, for one thing, I don't think the director's going to be involved, right?
Right.
The
Good
original
point.
Dead Space. So.
Yeah.
But maybe something in that line.
Yep.
It's going to be in between. Like we said, like thinking about Resident Evil 2. I bet it's going to be like in between something like that and Shadow of the Colossus. Like Resident Evil 2 is a pretty deep reimagining of what that original game was, right? And then like on the other, like even further, you have Final Fantasy 7 Remake, which is just like an off the walls reimagining. It's not going to be like that.
Right. But that's Dead Space, and it was funny because we were like going to keep it close, and then everyone else knew. Everyone else was like, "Hey, yeah, we know that," and like immediately posted. And it was Eurogamer, Jimatsu had it pretty much exactly right, and then like Gerstmann over at Giant Bomb on the Bombcast pretty much said exactly what I had heard too, that it's more of like a remake and stuff and more of a reboot. So like because like the word that was going around, I think because of us, was revival, and that's not exactly. I mean, it is, but it's like.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, it's not as descriptive as what the reality is, which is this remake. I kind of wanted to speak along the lines of more EA stuff because, we might hear about Dead Space at EA Play, but what we won't hear about is the next Mass Effect game or the next Dragon Age. Those games are not ready. Mike, what's your thinking on why that's the case?
Well, Mass Effect, I don't think I really ever thought. Dragon Age, I think we all thought, that could show up, right? They've been teasing that for a while. We seem to be getting closer to release date, but they came out ahead of it. It was just like, no, we're not going to have that at EA Play. So it makes sense, though, right? You talked about this before. They are in the pretty deep part of actual development. It is like time to make the game. And, one thing I wasn't super aware of that you've kind of like clued me in on more is just how much time and resources it takes to make a presentation for one of these things. And with everything, with trying to make a release date these days, as hard as it is already, maybe you don't need to spend a couple of months or even just a month of production time making this little gameplay slice or CG trailer or whatever it would be for EA Play. People know Dragon Age is coming. Nobody thinks it's going to come out this year. If it comes out next year, it would be late and probably not anyway. So it doesn't really need to be there. We know it's coming. People are excited. Yep.
It's the kind of thing where they've shown a bunch of teases already. They could do a CG, like right now it would be, if they were ready and it made sense, they could do like a CG reveal of what the game actually is, what the story's going to be, setting up the world. That wouldn't be like out of place, and it wouldn't feel like they are going to the CG well one too many times, because all they've done is like asset, like they teased like one little asset that wasn't moving with some like pre-existing VO. But
yeah, and they had Solus, right? The
yes,
the boat elf at one point. I can't even keep track of it.
Right. Yeah. Same. But those things, those kinds of CG trailers are expensive, and why sort of burn that right now when it's something that you could do closer to when you're ready to show gameplay? And I think we feel like, oh, if we don't get it this summer, do we have to wait all the way to next summer? I think there's a good chance we might get something at the Game Awards, but yeah,
it showed up there before. But even if it was just next summer, that wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be the worst, right? Yes, right.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be surprising. You're right, absolutely. I think they are coming off of Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and they're feeling good about that. I think they kind of want to just make sure that they get this game in a good place, so when they do show it, people are as excited as they possibly could be, because there's a lot of pent up demand for these Dragon Age games. A lot of fans for that. It's very similar to Mass Effect, where it's like there is just a lot of people out there who are into Dragon Age in a big way, so they don't want to mess that up. And I think this is kind of making sure that they can, they put their best foot forward when they actually decide to start doing that.
Are they doing anything with the older Dragon Age games? Are we getting like Origins 2 and 3, or even just Origins getting like the Mass Effect Legendary treatment?
That's that's a good question. I wonder if they feel like if they have like the tools in place to quickly do that now that they did it with Mass Effect. That's a good question. I don't know. I'll look into that.
Okay, I do have a lot of good questions. Thank you.
Moving on. Also related, Casey Hudson, who was the former head of BioWare and oversaw Mass Effect, he left the studio last year, or maybe it was the year before that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, he left and came back and then left again, right?
Right, so. Yes. And and this was his most recent departure from BioWare, and that he has announced yesterday that he formed a new studio called Humanoid Studios. Going to start making games again. That they're still kind of in like the build-up phase, though, as far as I understand. But yeah, just that's what Casey Hudson's doing. A quick follow from there, and there's a bunch of new leaders at BioWare, because Casey Hudson was like one of those key figures who left, and people are wondering where he's going, what he's doing next. This is what he's doing, but new people have stepped in at BioWare, and something we've talked about before, where a lot of people who made sure that those games got kind of fixed, like Star Wars: The Old Republic. A lot of those people are in charge now. So yeah, but more studios to make more games.
They did announce a new expansion for Star Wars: The Old Republic yesterday.
Yeah,
with head of EA Play, which was interesting, because it's a game that people don't talk about very much anymore, but 10 years old now too, which is crazy, but still has some fans, still has a little gas left. That that's one of those games. It's like you can be harsh when judging it or not, because we all thought like this is going to be a World of Warcraft killer. Then it wasn't, but a game that's a live service game that's been able to last for 10 years has to count for something.
Yep. Let's talk about Hideo Kojima.
Must we?
Yeah, we must. Before you came into the thing here, Christian was in there, and he's like, well, yeah, you should just do the update and just say he's still weird. Kojima, still weird. That's the big news story here. Not exactly. He signed a letter of intent with Microsoft for this publishing deal. And while that's not a guarantee that the deal will go through, it is part of the steps towards that eventual outcome.
Well, tying that together with that hire from Stadia. Who was that again?
That's Kim Swift, who she worked at Stadia. She's worked on Portal and other stuff, and she was hired specifically to work with Kojima. And yes, like they are staffing up, they are preparing for this partnership. They want to get everything in place because everyone involved expects this to go through. And that's kind of actually, I think in the story I wrote, like, it's unlikely to fall apart. And that wasn't because they signed the letter of intent. That's that's part of it, but that's because all of these other things are coming together, and everyone involved really wants to make it happen. So when will we hear about this? I don't know. I expect probably by the end of the year. I think this is the Game Awards thing as well, right? This makes a lot of sense. Kojima always shows up there, and that would be a cool thing. And Microsoft also shows up there too, and Keighley would love to have that. And then what is the game itself? I have no idea. No one seems to know. That's kind of the big thing there, where it's not really about the game so much. It is about, hey, Kojima wants to do something using Xbox's cloud technology, and everyone's willing to say, hey, let's make that happen. Let's see if we can enable you and empower your dreams. Your dreams are not memes, Kojima. Finally.
Just like our Arby's stuff.
Just like our Arby's stuff, exactly. And then there was another point there, but I'm tired, Mike.
Now you're thinking about Arby's. Now you're thinking about those.
I'm thinking about the beef and cheddar. That's the big problem here. Yes, we'll hear about this probably relatively soon, as long as everything kind of continues along the way. And that, a lot of people fixated, and these are not people who are speaking in good faith. So I'm going to address it, but I know people aren't like bringing this up in good faith. They're like, oh, if certain criteria is met, what does that mean? And it just means like everyone doing their due diligence. People, right. It's just the most standard stuff.
Because, like, you know, when you're dealing with leaks, of course you need to say, like, oh, things could change, things could be canceled, things could be moved. And people always get mad when you say that, like, oh, look at his, like, get out of jail free card. It's like, yes, it's video games. Yeah, it's anything.
They're so, like, fatalistic, and they're so, like, oh, they think the future's already written, is how a lot of these people, like approach this stuff. But it's, like, the certain criteria is just, like, you know, as long as Kojima is telling the truth to Microsoft about stuff, and Microsoft's like lawyers don't say, hey, oh, there's a discrepancy here, what's up with that? Like, that's all that means. It's just very basic, straightforward stuff. It's not worth getting hung up on. But people, again, it's not really coming in good faith. Okay, so we have some Sony news. Sony made some acquisitions. I think both of these were in the last week. Yes, yeah. Housemarque and Nexus. So Housemarque is the company that made Returnal. Nexus is a PC port house. They did the port for Avengers.
Square Enix stuff.
It's a lot of Square Enix stuff.
They've been doing a lot of Square Enix stuff before.
Yeah, and that's, I'm like, because I see the Nexus name all the time, and it's like, oh, I boot up Avengers all the time when I'm like testing graphics cards and stuff like that. So that's where I'm like seeing that recently. Housemarque makes a lot of sense. No, I don't think we got details about like the monetary figures for either of these. I guess here's my question to you, Mike. Do you think that Sony paid more money for Housemarque than it did for Insomniac? And Insomniac was like 250 million-ish, in that range.
Yeah, well, Insomniac was certainly a deal.
Yeah. So, yes.
But still, no. I don't know. I feel like, I mean, gosh, I'm not an expert in this stuff, but I'd be shocked if it was more than that, right? I mean, this was certainly the time Housemarque wants to be bought. They just like made their first quote-unquote AAA game, and it did well, so good timing for them. I don't know. What do you think, Jeff?
I think there's a small chance that Housemarque went for slightly more than what Insomniac went for.
300 million.
Yeah, 300 million, just because of the timing. Just because, they probably could point to a chart and say, here's what our $70 game did for you, and here's all this other stuff.
You can always say, hey, Microsoft could buy us. How would that look for you?
Right, exactly. And Microsoft would definitely pay probably, if we can get in there and probably push this price up, or do you want to just make this deal happen at this kind of slightly inflated price right now? I think there's a chance. I don't know for sure, but I think there's a chance. This is the kind of stuff where it's like, it makes sense, right? They've worked together for years. Housemarque is going in the same direction as Sony right now, where Sony wants more bigger games that feel premiere, and Housemarque's like, yeah, that's the games we're starting to make now after making arcade games for a year, and we knew you weren't going to be interested in Resogun 2. Like, the Sony just would not have cared about that. Yeah.
And I feel like they probably already talked to them about their next game, and I feel like it probably is just like a straight up AAA kind of thing. Like, I don't think it's going to be a roguelike anymore or anything like that. I think it's going to be very narrative driven sort of thing, right? It might even be like a Returnal 2 that's more Metroid Prime and less Hades, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And I think that studio could nail that. Their next game, I bet, is going to be a very, very big deal. I think Returnal was a big deal. I think the next one's going to be even bigger. So, and then Nexus, clearly this is Sony just saying, we want to build in PC ports into our pipeline, and we don't want to contract it out anymore. We don't want to have to wait in line. We don't want to have to bid against Square Enix. Nexus is just going to do this for us, and that's that. Do you think this moves up the timeline of when PlayStation 5 games go to PC? I guess that's the big question.
Timeline wise, I don't know. Like they
3
still
years
have a
right
pretty
now,
big
right?
backlog to get through, right?
Good
Like
point.
we're still kind of expecting Ghost of Tsushima and like Uncharted 4 and Last of Us. So, I mean, hopefully, maybe like these things start dropping a bit more regularly. It's got to speed things up a little bit, but I don't think it's like we're going to be suddenly getting day and date PC releases on PlayStation 5 games.
Yes, I think that is still years and years and years off if it ever happens at all. Ghost of Tsushima director's cut is coming. Mike, did you write about this? I was kind of okay. So kind of I see. So there was some controversy about the pricing. So give me the top line stuff first, and then talk about that.
Well, the pricing's a little weird. So first off, because this is a sort of director's cut, so it is coming with not just like the quality of life improvements and the better load times and graphics is coming with that expansion that was rumored. I think some people thought it would be standalone, but it's just sort of baked into this, and it's on that new island. I forget the name now. And it's not sold separately, right?
Like that.
Yeah, so you have to upgrade to this version to get that, right?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, that's how you can justify it, right? Because it can't just be a free upgrade because it comes with this expansion. And it's a bit confusing because it's like, oh, if you want to upgrade from the base PlayStation 4 game to a director's cut on PlayStation 4, it costs this much. Or you can director's cut PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, it costs this much. Or base PlayStation 4 to director's cut PlayStation 5, costs this much, right? And I can't even remember. It's like $30, $20, $10 somewhere or another. So, to me, it's not. Would it be more ideal if it was like the Final Fantasy VII Integrate situation where it is a free upgrade and then you just pay for the new thing if you want it? That would be better. I don't know if I can muster up too much outrage over this or anything. It seems fine to me.
Yeah,
it's a touchy subject these days.
That's why I was surprised to see people saying, "Well, that's not worth it for me." And I guess the difference is these are all people who have played Ghost of Tsushima, and I only played a couple hours. And then I'm like, okay, I really want to get back to it. And now I'm like, oh well, I'll just get back to this version instead. And so I'll pay some extra money to get the extra stuff and get all the bonuses that the PS5 version has as well. They did make a lot of quality of life improvements, it sounds like. And so I was just like, okay, this is how I'm going to play that game. I'm excited. And then looking on social media and seeing a lot of people who I thought would be excited, kind of scratching their head and kind of being seemed a little miffed at the price. So I get that this is the kind of thing that it stings right now at the beginning of a generation, and in a few years we never think about this stuff ever again. So I think that's kind of how Sony sees it too, though.
And there's the thing where just like the base version of this director's cut, if you just buy it new, is $70 on PlayStation 5 and $60 on PlayStation 4, and people are still like, a lot of people still feel comfortable about that $70 price tag. And again, it's like, what am I paying $10 for a next gen tax? And yeah, that's a little meh. It's a little blah. I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's for us here in the United States. We know in other markets, it's actually more than like the equivalent of $10. It seems like it was more like a $30 price increase.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I think in Canada, the games went up to like $110 for like a new PlayStation 5 game. Pretty wild. So, okay. PlayStation is a challenging platform for indie developers, according to some indie publishers and indie developers. So social media popped off a little bit this week with some studios saying, hey, we're just going to talk about this, although they use sort of code names and were kind of coy and never actually said the platforms. It was pretty clear who they were talking about. And the issue seems to be that PlayStation makes it challenging for developers to and publishers to understand how the platform is working. The tools are very obtuse, and sometimes there's just a lack of tools overall. So you can't go on there and like figure out, okay, here's who would want my game, here's how I'm going to reach them, here's how much it would cost to reach them. It's all of it seems like it's a lot more challenging than that. And what Sony seems to want developers to do is go through a manager, but that manager is assigned to each game based on how well Sony thinks it's going to do, but Sony doesn't explain any of its criteria or how it comes to that decision, how it makes those decisions at all. And once it's made, you can't do anything about it except for you could pay money for better placement, and it's like $25,000 at a minimum. There's also some issues where like it's very hard to get answers from those managers. They are very like, especially if you're like on what seems like a low tier in PlayStation's eyes, they're not responsive, and so you don't have the tools, and you're supposed to work with the support person, and the support person doesn't actually get back to you. And what the results are is one of the publishers put out a chart saying that they were making less money on PlayStation than they make on Steam, which in Steam, excuse me, is usually like a fraction of what people make, what developers make on Switch and even Xbox. And that was the case. Xbox was a big piece of the pie. Switch was even more, and then Steam and PlayStation were just these small little slivers. And a lot of other developers kind of echoed what they were saying. And the overall issue just seems to be PlayStation right now is not prioritizing indie games, and it's something we've kind of said before, right? This is not too surprising.
People got at you one time for saying it, even though it seemed obviously true at the time when you said it. And now we have people kind of backing that up. But look, like they know what they're doing. They know that they're not prioritizing indie games. And to be clear, it's not like a war crime or something to do that. We know what their priority is: AAA games, and that's what their audience likes. That's what's making them more profitable than they've ever been before. So, in a way, it's fine. It sucks if you're a developer of an indie game and you'd rather be doing better on PlayStation, sure.
But if you're an indie gaming fan, is it a problem? Because all those games are still coming to PlayStation, right?
They are coming to PlayStation, but if you're an indie gaming fan, I imagine you probably have a Switch. I imagine that you're probably more attached to a platform that, again, prioritizes those things more. And that's not it's not a huge part of PlayStation's identity at this moment. It sounds like the big issue here is discoverability on the PlayStation Store. And that's something that they could spend resources and time to fix if they want to, but then, what's the motivation there? Yep. How much is that going to really help them? It's going to help the indie developers, but
yeah. And one of the other issues here was like, one of the things a developer can do to get more discoverability and make their game rise up the charts is put your game on sale. This is something that works on Switch, something people do on Xbox, something that works very easy on Steam. On PlayStation, you have to be invited into sales, and those invites are very limited, apparently. Like, that's what a manager told a developer, that's limited. And even then, it's like that the being invited is based on that evaluation that, again, is a black box. The developers don't understand how it happens. Now, that's not to say like indie games can't succeed on PlayStation platforms. We've seen that. We've seen a lot of indie games do exactly that. So some studios seem to figure this out. Maybe they have better relationships with PlayStation.
Sometimes Sony will just straight up pick a game and champion the heck out of it, like Bug Snacks, right? There'll always be a decision like that. So of course that's going to do fine.
Yes, but I agree with Mike's take that this is like Sony knows what it's doing. Sony knows where it's putting its investment, and it's probably thinking it won't get that much of a return on investment if it were to try to beef up indie stuff. And it's probably not wrong. Okay, couple more stories. This one's kind of more like hey, go read this story on Bloomberg. There was a really good report about a Microsoft engineer who found a bug. Basically, his job was use the Microsoft Store and try to find issues with it so you could fix them. And he found a bug where Microsoft gave him a fake credit card to make fake purchases, and so he would order an Xbox, and the system would know not to really send an Xbox because it was a fake system or a fake card, and they were just testing stuff. But if he tried to buy a gift card for the Microsoft Store, which you can use on Xbox games, or to buy Lenovo laptops on the Microsoft Store, whatever, if he made that purchase, he would actually get an active 5x5 numbered code that would work. And he did not report this, and instead what he did was slowly over the course of 2 years get $10 million worth of gift cards that he turned into Bitcoin, and then he turned that Bitcoin back into cash, and he was buying boats and had a giant house, and then the feds actually eventually caught up to him. It's a fascinating story, a lot of good reporting in it.
I can't imagine the gall to actually pull something that off. I'd just be so nervous the entire time.
I would have Mike, I would have the runs all the time. I would just have terrible diarrhea. It would be the worst.
I was accidentally overpaid by our company a little bit ago, and I was immediately how do I report this? Don't send me to jail.
Yeah.
Please, I'm sorry I did this. I did nothing, but I'm sorry. Take this money back.
I remember I was sick to my stomach when Nintendo didn't announce that Direct back in March of 2019 or whatever it was. Right. Yeah, and I was sitting there oh, come on, just do it. Oh my God, they're not going to do it. And I was just sick to my stomach. And that's just video games. Who cares? This is $10 million that you are effectively stealing from Microsoft. So I'm pretty sure that guy is going to jail. Yeah. Yeah. Remedy is making a 4-player co-op spinoff for Control. Mike, another Left 4 Dead, huh?
Man, that sure is a trend. I don't want to say Redfall's Left 4 Dead again because people yell at me when I say that, even though it seems to obviously have that vibe to me. But man, we got that. We got Rainbow Six Extraction, the one whose name's the Anacrusis or something, right? That's actually right, isn't it?
Yes, that is. You got that in one.
I'm shocking. And then Back 4 Blood, obviously. So, yeah, I just wonder, people are going to get pretty sick of this trend quickly. It's just one of those things where, a year ago or 2 years ago, all these people were hey, everyone misses Left 4 Dead, and Valve's not going to make one. so we will make one or finance all of these ones, and we'll see how that goes. It's funny now because it seems like after this, we're just gonna get like 5 new Silent Hill or Silent Hill inspired games. Like that's the next thing, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So these trends are fun. These trends are fun. I mean, I never even liked Left 4 Dead all that much to begin with, so I'm looking at all of this with a shrug.
And we don't know if it'll be exactly like Left 4 Dead. Maybe it's like maybe it's more like Borderlands or something. You know, that's a 4-player co-op game.
Actually, might be more like Borderlands. That might be right.
Yeah.
When someone said that, that makes sense. But even still, like 4-player co-op shooters.
Right.
Like whether you're fighting a horde of AI enemies or not.
Right. Yes, exactly. And we are kind of, still, that's a lot of games vying for like 4-player co-op, like time or whatever. And then finally, Konami plus Bloober. They are, I looked at the story a little bit. I was busy. My understanding, I think, is Bloober, who is like the team that made the Medium, is going to work with.
The game you gave a 10 out of 10 to, right?
Yeah, the game I gave the game I never played and gave a 10 out of 10 to, according to the internet.
Everyone was mad at Jeff's Returnal score. Like everyone's like, they found a review on thegamer.com or
right.
whatever the URL was, and we're like, Jeff gave the Medium a perfect score, and I was like, we never reviewed that game.
I never
this
played
isn't
it.
Our site.
Yes,
It's
this isn't our
written
site
by Jeff Grubb, and everyone believed that.
It doesn't.
Everyone believed that.
And like they don't believe the Kojima thing that I'm reporting, like with like sources and stuff. But they're like, oh, I saw something that like counters what he said once. This is perfect evidence. Yeah, it's the wild.
Just take the L, Jeff.
Yeah, just take the L.
Down emoji.
Konami plus Bloober is basically. I think they're going to make a Silent Hill game. It sounds like.
Sure. Like what? Yeah. I mean, God, what else could it be?
I don't know. I think this is something like VGC Video Game Chronicle was reporting a while ago that this is like one of 2 Silent Hill projects in the works, and another one's with like a Japanese studio. All that stuff still seems to be true, according to Andy Robinson over at VGC. And this is like the first part of that, and I guess.
And then there's Blue Box's Silent Hill game.
Oh,
so,
of course.
So
right,
much,
yes. Yeah.
So much Silent Hill. Bloober. That's what people are saying, right?
Yep.
Bloober.
It all comes together, man. I guess we'll see that soon. Beyond that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about the other Silent Hill project either, so I know people are interested in that. There's other people who know more. Go ask them. Mike, that's all the news I have. Should we do super chats?
I think we should do that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
All right. So while you're doing that, I'm going to make sure I bring up the questions because I always forget to do that. Oh, people send in questions. Put it right at the top of my inbox.
Nice. Hey, Kung Fu Hot Dog says, hi, gents. When they dropped the Death Stranding Director's Cut trailer at E3, did Kojima need Konami's permission to use the Metal Gear Solid references? I am betting not.
No. So that would be covered by parody law. Like... You know, the movie Airplane didn't need permission to, like, from all the other movies it was spoofing to reference them because it was a direct spoof and it's commentary on the thing. It's fair use, actually, is what the rule is there. So, no, he would not need permission to do something like that. I did watch that again, and I'm convinced by that the chatter, the person that's in the super chat, kind of explaining to us that it was Kojima putting things up on the shelf and putting Metal Gear Solid on the shelf, and it said "handle with care," and that's him really passing it on. I totally buy into that now. It's not just him being weird; he was weird, but also that.
Space Dovakin asks, "Hey guys, any more info on that Coalition Unreal Engine 5 demo?"
It's not a demo. It's going to be it's going to be a smaller project. I think the one thing there is that Microsoft expects it in 2023. I've reported that before, but I don't know if that's something that's sunk in with people. So you know, it's not going to take years and years and years. I mean, it could get delayed. Right now, they expect it in 2023. Is the new thing on there. But what it is, I don't know. I think it's kind of still pretty early in production. I bet they're prototyping a lot, and they're trying to see what they could do with Unreal and seeing if the new visual tech is going to enable them to do anything with mechanics. And yeah, but I would expect to see it in a couple of years.
Patrick Morgan says, you all probably get this question a lot, but I must ask. Do y'all think Sony's showcase will be July or later? With all the news recently, I'm starting to not feel confident in a July date, but that's just speculation. Yeah, we don't think July.
I thought that July was possible, but like I always thought July or August was a very good time frame to tell people because it could easily be August. And now, I mean, this is a good point, right? That we got these new studios announced, and there's some other stuff being like talked about by Sony, like the Ghost of Tsushima thing. Doesn't at least the Ghost of Tsushima thing makes sense for one of those big showcases, because that fills out their calendar release for later this year, unless they have a ton of other stuff we don't know about. Like, that would be important. So I agree. I don't think they would have talked about the acquisitions in their showcase. That's not like a Sony move typically. But yeah, I'm less confident in a July showcase as well. I mean, the rumor we heard was July 8th, and then we heard we would hear by yesterday or today. And, we're doing the show now, so maybe Sony's talking about it and maybe no one's noticed, but I bet we're probably not going to hear about it today because it's probably not going to happen on July 8th.
Do you think they need to make sure Horizon is actually locked down or not for this year before?
I think, I think it's a real factor, and I think they also want to know what's like Call of Duty doing. I think once Call of Duty gets out there and says, "Hey, here's where we are," I think a lot of other things start falling into place for a lot of other games once we know what Call of Duty's doing.
Basement Radio Arcade Podcast says, "Happy Friday, Mike and Jeff. Arby's is amazing." Yes,
thank you, Brap.
Is. Oh, here's the one I was looking forward to. Killer of Xbox with the Kratos profile picture says, "Where Starfield 2021? Question mark. Where spelled WERE, by the way. You then clown emoji. Kojima is with Sony, not Xbox. So thank you for your money."
I can see what this is about.
The typos and everything, I'm almost beginning to think that this is actually just a real fan playing, like, joking with us.
Yeah, it's almost easier to believe that than, because that's like fun. Like someone like having like, oh, it's fun to play Poke Jeff and like have, I would appreciate that. It's just sad if they're serious. If they're serious, it's just really depressing.
So they're sending money for this privilege.
Right, yeah. To just like, clearly you're just upset about the Kojima thing. Like, he can still work with Sony if he wants to. If Sony wants to, is kind of the key thing there. Go! Don't bother me. Go ask Sony to go work with Kojima if that's what you want. So, I'm sorry though. I'm sorry that your best friend's not working with your best company anymore. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you, Killer of Xbox. Jedi Moss asks, "Any idea on what we can expect out of QuakeCon?" I can tell you what not to expect, and that would be Quake. But aside from that, I don't know. What should we expect? Anything, Jeff?
I was trying to remember, like, because all these conferences were like, oh, they're not going to do that this year. Is QuakeCon one? They're not going to do physical, but they're going to do digital. Is that what they said?
I don't even know. Yeah, that's weird because like the whole point of QuakeCon originally was the LAN parties, right?
And that's like QuakeCon would be it's under Microsoft now, and Microsoft still said they're not going to do any physical events through 2021. So
yeah, it's a digital only event. Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
19th to August 21st. So you gotta be talking about something, you would think, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect there, honestly. I hope we get an update about Wolfenstein 3, but that's just a hope. So I don't know.
Marvin Ginyard's trying to help us with our beef and cheddar name. Says
please.
The bee cheese. Sounds
like
I'm going to the beach. Though,
yeah.
Which, I mean, I kind of have that vibe right now.
Yeah, you do. Is that Donald Duck on there? I think the mic's blocking it.
Yeah, we got.
Oh, okay. I see it. I see it
as tropical drinks.
Right. Yeah.
Because we're ready. It was getting warm. It cooled down again. Now it's just raining again. Jalen's 001 says, "I have your back, Mike. You have to notice the wandering eye Jeff has for GB, which I assume means Giant Bomb, not GamesBeat in this one. It's just one show now, but just you wait. You're a superstar, Mike." Thank you, Jalen.
Thank you, Mike's mom.
Wow. Rude. Veggie lasagna. Oh, this is the one where I said veggie lasagna asked about farting in bathtubs and eating it.
It's really funny though.
Jalen specified later. They just joking. Congrats on the new Joe Chef. Though you should look for sponsorship for actual good fast food restaurants like Wendy's, not that crap Arby's. Jalen's, you're no mother of mine.
Here's the thing. Wendy's, every time I go to Wendy's, all the employees are so high, I haven't had a good experience there in years. So, but that's just Colorado.
I think, and again, it's not because Arby's is sending me stuff. I think Wendy's has gone downhill. I don't know.
You might not. That's what you know. What you're not the only one. Listen. I don't have a refined palate. Like I trust you when you tell me that Arby's is that much better than everything else. I love Arby's, but I feel like But my wife agrees with you that Wendy's has gone downhill, and I'm like, oh, it has. Okay. They're also kind of like they're a bad corporation.
I got older. maybe I got older, but just like the burgers taste more bland than they used to.
They got
The
like
fries have been
there was like this
soggier.
trade group that got like a bunch of companies to sign like agreement to pay like 10 cents more for like a pound of tomatoes to like pay to workers in Mexico, and Wendy's is like, no, we can't do that. And I'm like, oh, so Wendy's is like that, huh? And I've been pretty frustrated with Wendy's ever since. So Arby's all the way.
Yes, that's the real point here. Kung Fu Hot Dog says, "Hey guys, would you ever consider YouTube channel membership? Would you consider that, Jeff?"
Yes, I would. Part of it's just thinking about honestly, the tough thing there is the questions. Like, if someone wants to be a member, do they just get to ask as many questions as they want once like the podcast starts, or do they get one question a week? And how do I handle that? Do they probably they just get access to the Discord, and it's similar to the Patreon? But like, we have the good system set up with the super chats, and that's how you get to ask questions.
Things are kind of working right now.
Right, and it's something I'm considering. But if you want to support like in that way, patreon.com/Jeff Grubb is a fantastic way to do that. So yeah.
Kung Fu Hot Dog continues. Sony boasts about PlayStation 5 sales, but forgets the scalpers, since Sony doesn't get those profits.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Sometimes the scalper stuff that could be in the news so much that it could be a big deal if you're trying to get a PlayStation 5 and you're annoyed, right? But in terms of like the money Sony is making, that's not gonna happen.
All those consoles eventually get to people who are going to buy games, and games is where Sony makes money. So it just doesn't matter in the end. If that demand only helps them.
And the scalpers still bought a PlayStation 5 at some
point.
point.
Yeah, so they're not stealing it. Right, yeah.
They still got the money that they should get for it. Right. Yeah, it's not a Fast and Furious 1 situation. They're not stealing a truck of PlayStation 5s, although that would be great.
Yeah, I was trying to think what would be the modern equivalent of the VCR DVD combo from Fast and Furious 1, and then what, like, because that's 20 years ago, and then in 20 years, what physical thing could they possibly be stealing? But that was, you're right, there would be PS5s
people
today.
Still need TVs, right? Or screens of some kind. We still need screens.
Yep.
Man, did you see F9 yet?
No, not yet.
Because of course you're going to. I saw it.
I'm going to. Yes, I will, but not yet.
Kieran Buckley asks, "Is it likely Horizon 2 gets delayed to next year?" We were talking about this. I feel like most people have given up on it coming out this year. I still am holding out some hope and carrying that torch a bit, just because it seems so important to me that it comes out this year for Sony, because they quote unquote need a big holiday game. But then it's like, well, no one could buy a PlayStation 5 anyways. They're already selling out. How much do they need one? But you still do want people who own a PlayStation 5 to feel good about it and to have a game that like all of them can rally around, right?
I think so.
I think they're gonna certainly try very hard to get it out this year. What do you think, Jeff? 2021, 2022?
I think it does make 2021. I would I'd be hesitant to make a bet on that, but I that's my gut right now. This is more about making sure that the fall lineup falls into place, and they feel like they have third-party games here and there, and they'll have this game ready to go. But if it does get delayed, I will not be shocked. Very few people will be shocked. I think.
Delays are possible for everything now. But again, I just don't think it's some people think it's a foregone conclusion that's not going to make it this year. I still think it's more likely to than not.
Same.
Jedi Moss 4 says, with Dead Space getting rebooted, does this hurt the Callisto Protocol project being made by the creator of Dead Space? That's right. There is actually like a Dead Space spiritual successor on the way. No, that'll be fine. Like, there'll be some people who rally around that, and if like people don't like this new Dead Space, then they can go look at that and say, oh, this was better anyways.
Yep. I don't think it's gonna. I think it only gets people more excited for that genre, right? So if one of them does well, it's gonna benefit the other one.
There's a point where it can sometimes become confusing noise. Remember, there was like a System Shock remake and a System Shock 3 and something.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm not even sure if any of that came out or what happened with any of that stuff. Like, so sometimes it can get weird and confusing, and it can all get lost. But I don't think Dead Space is gonna worry about that. Matt Shore says, 1 beef and cheddar each, my kings. Thank you, man. I'm getting hungry.
Thank you.
I'm gonna.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that.
I think I may not get Arby's today, just because look, Arby's is still mostly fried and carby
Yeah, it's a
food
sometimes
and
food,
fat.
but it's a delicious sometimes.
More than sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I might have to like go to Chipotle. and
People
get a
keep saying
bowl.
Arby's is not good in chat, Mike. I just feel like
Well-
I don't want to get mad at these people because I feel like they're just ignorant. And it's like you can go there if you don't like the roast beef. There's like deli sandwiches that are really good. If you don't like those, you can get a gyro.
They have
You
chicken
get
nuggets now.
They get chicken. So they have chicken tenders, like we talked about this before. Like when a few
chicken's
fast food
great.
places that still has really good chicken tenders with a lot of sauce options. You can get you can get a buffalo chicken sandwich if you want.
Yeah, I like the buffalo chicken sliders. Nice. They have
Right.
amazing They have amazing mozzarella sticks. And who doesn't
Yeah,
like
mozzarella sticks.
You can't eat an Arby's mozzarella stick and be like, oh, it's not a very good mozzarella stick. It is an amazing mozzarella stick. Like, what more do you need to do for a mozzarella stick? Like, look, it's
Right.
still fast food. It's like I know like everything's
Right.
like frozen or whatever, but a mozzarella stick, what, you're gonna make it fresh with your string cheese and your
Right.
breadcrumbs? Like, who cares?
Nick Turbo Chat was like, it's an always food, but when I first read it, I thought he was like part of this conversation, and it's like, it's always food. Like that's like the
Yeah,
tagline.
like sarcastic, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Mike, traitor to Arby's Minotti. Never be a traitor to Arby's. Oh, some people mad that I said it's a sometimes food. Look, it's not. For somebody who's not my body shape and size currently, it's an always food. Right? I'm trying to I'm still trying to get ready for hot girl summer, and I got some ways to go. All right. Oh gosh, this is the name. Ghost Fac Killa. Ghost Fac Killa. There's a lot of numbers in there posing
You did
as
a good
letters,
job.
so it took me a bit to get through there. Says, hungover at my desk. You're both giving me life. Here's some cash money. Enjoy. Thank you, Ghost
Thank you so
Fac
much.
Killa.
I hope you feel better. Drink some water. Take a Tylenol.
Yeah. Brett Templin actually sent a super chat and just said it's for curly fries with ranch. Somebody asked me what I dip my curly fries in, and I said ranch. Some people are upset. In Ohio, dipping things in ranch is very common.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
about the rest of the country, yeah, but Ohio, we
Yes.
all do that. We're all gross.
Steph used to work at a wing place, and she would tell me that she had met multiple people who brought their own ranch in their purse, and she would call them ranch monsters, but that was just Ohio. It's just Ohio.
My one brother's wife dips her steak in ranch.
Right.
It goes too far.
Yep.
I agree, but I love it. Victor Alliston says, is Sony looking to acquire System Arc Works?
So this is another rumor going around right now, not coming from us. We don't know, and I'll say that I don't know, but it would not surprise me at all. There's I can't remember. On the Spawncast, I think someone mentioned that System Artworks actually has a lot of its fingers in anime where people use its really awesome fighting game engine to make like complicated scenes where like there's a lot of action and they need those like 2D things to like move quickly. They actually use System Artworks tech to do a lot of that stuff. So if you look in the credits on an anime, you'll see System Artworks. Sony is really into anime now. They've acquired a bunch of anime studios.
Not System Artworks.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I'm not a fighting game guy.
forgiven.
Yeah, whatever. But they Sony was like, hey, we could get more fighting games, and this can bolster our tech for making anime. So why not? I don't know.
Yeah, everyone, man, it's all coming in now. Everyone was mad. I think the original question said System Artwork too. Look, I don't actually know. I only knew because chat was yelling at me. You could put those 3 words in any order.
Yeah, yes, the Arc System Works. I knew in my heart I knew I was saying it wrong. But guys, look at me. I don't care.
I just want them to do another Persona fighting game. Those were fun, basically because I liked Persona. But yeah. Ryan says, you think Nintendo will ever release games on PC? You never want to say never. Certainly not anytime soon. And I don't know. I wonder if they feel burned by mobile because there was a part where they're a little desperate there and they hedged their bets and they devoted themselves to mobile gaming. And I feel like now they almost think of that as more of a nuisance than anything else, right? Like they almost regret getting into mobile and they try to make that big deal out of it, and it didn't super work out for them. They had Fire Emblem. They made money, I'm sure, but it kind of diversified themselves in a unpleasant way. I think they'd rather just have everybody playing on Switch. So under this current leadership and under the way things are going to Switch, I don't think we're going to be seeing PC ports. But in 10 years from now, and Nintendo's in the dumps again, who knows? Who knows what they might do in desperation?
I agree.
Booty Bandit asks, Reggie versus Jim Ryan, who would win? How would Reggie lose a fight against anybody?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Yeah, he's got that big dad energy, and would just crush anybody in before him. You know what? I'm gonna Google always does the thing. If you like search like a celebrity's height, it just tells you. Google. All right.
Oh, it's gonna give you an
How
answer.
tall is Jim Ryan?
Oh no.
Okay, well that one's 6'2", but he's an American politician.
That is a normal ass two first names name, isn't it?
Yes, it is. All right,
Reggie. There's only one Reggie Fils-Ami, I'm sure that is on Google.
We do not have that data on Jim Ryan, but Reggie Fils-Ami height.
Reggie's a beef and cheddar boy for sure.
Oh yes, he's 6'2".
I mean, he's absolutely a Bigfoot deep dish boy.
Yeah, the Bigfoot pizza, the inventor. Yeah.
The inventor, like that. The inventor.
Yeah, his name.
Big pizza.
His name's on the patent. Yeah, what's the joke we made at E3? He would crush Jim Ryan. Absolutely. I'm sorry. I love Jim, but no.
I don't even think you needed to dig as deep into this as you did.
No.
I appreciate your diligence.
Thank you.
Hey, Kung Fu Hot Dog's back and asks, what Steam games are you getting in their summer sale? I'm buying Shadow the Tomb Raider, Life is Strange 2, which is free, and Bulletstorm, and some racing games. Don't you have some bullshit press Steam thing? You don't have to buy anything on there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Well, was that or is that that was Origin or something?
No, I have it on Epic too.
Epic. It was Epic, and you were mad at me because like you have that also. I was like, no, I don't. And you were getting mad at me.
I was. You're being stupid, Mike. Quit being obtuse. Get Cruelty Squad. I think it's like $17 right now. I played it on Twitch the other day, so look that up.
I don't think I've gotten anything in a summer sale in quite a while.
Right. We get a lot for our job.
I spent too many times buying these games that I never played. And like a lot of games I want to play right now, like JRPGs, I don't like sitting on this computer and playing like a JRPG like that for whatever reason. Like I actually bought Tales of Berseria very recently because it was on sale for some Bandai Namco thing. It was like $7. Like, yeah, I'll buy it. I'm probably never gonna play that on my PC like that. Maybe someday I'll own some sort of portable device I can play Steam games on, but I'm not playing that here. Vincent says, "Hi, Beef and Cheddar boys. Everybody is talking Warner Brothers Studios selling. Wouldn't an acquisition of Discovery Warner be more in line for Amazon, Apple, or Microsoft? That'd be a lot more expensive. It might be more in line with the way things are going these days, but I don't know."
Yeah,
they just merged too. I don't know if they're already up for sale as a total entity.
Right, and I think like the big idea was to get Discovery and like all of the debt from all this stuff off of AT&T's books. I think that's who it is. I can't keep track anymore. And I think that stuff's kind of a little bit more sorted than it was. And so then just to, like of course, if Amazon comes in and says, "Hey, we're going to buy," someone will take that call, but it would be very, very expensive, and that doesn't mean it's out of the realm of possibility. But you're right. Like then Amazon would own all the stuff. They would own Batman and the studios to make it, and the comic book division, and then all the video game developers as well. That makes a lot of sense. I just don't know if what Amazon's appetite is for that. If they feel like they need that, they would give them HBO Max as well, and they already have Prime Video. Do they just combine that stuff? I guess it makes some sense, but I don't know. We haven't heard any rumblings one way or the other on that.
Pew Cucumber says, "I'm too old for this, but am I the only one looking to order the Space Jam 2 trainers and controller? Meet. I'll tell you what, I got that Space Jam 2 cereal. It was very good. It was basically just Boo Berry, but nothing wrong with Boo Berry.
No, Boo Berry's great.
You feeling that Space Jam hype yet? You watch that Porky Pig rap?
No, I'm not mad at the movie in the way some people are. Like they're like looking at it like
it's silly to be mad at it.
It's silly to be mad at it, right? I'm just like it is. I do look at it. I'm like, it's a bit much, because it is just like what was that Ready Player One where they're just bringing in all the IPs, and I'm like,
sure. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I will watch it. I think it's going to be on HBO Max, right? So
Yes,
I will
think
watch
so.
it there, and I'll see. But I am not hyped for it. No.
It's gonna be very hard to judge it because it's like, well, this isn't a good movie
No.
like Space Jam was. Like, right? Like, I like Space Jam, but like, how do I as a 34-year-old man now possibly judge? I don't know. It's hard.
I don't know.
I will watch it, and I bet I will be amused. J. Stud McLovin says, if you started a business called Grubhub and only deliver Arby's, would that be considered fair use? We have to get our lawyers on this one. I don't know.
That one probably not. No, that one would almost certainly get me sued. I am currently, and I don't want to like get sued by everybody. I'm doing Grubb Snacks, and like P. Tibbs over at Young Horses with Bug Snacks is definitely going to sue me eventually. So
He doesn't seem happy. He's coming for you.
He's going to come for me. So I'll deal with one before I get to the other.
When are you should actually just steal the song now and say everybody's talking about Grubb Snacks. Just go all out now. AJ Minotti, sounds like a loser to me, says, good time to buy the Retroid Pocket or wait for what's coming. He says, enjoy the $5. Just remember, Chris, our other brother, is an engineer, and me and him, have liberal arts degrees. That's true, too. Metroid Pocket now, or wait for like this. This is the second generation one now, right? Should we wait for the third one.
And the thing about it is the next generation of these things are going to start having bigger screens. And probably a little bit better tech, so they might be able to, better handle GameCube or Dreamcast. Like you could do Dreamcast on the Retroid Pocket, just not very well. And N64 is pretty good on it. Here's the thing: you order a Retroid Pocket now for like $80 through the website, and it takes a month to get here. And I think it would be a bummer to do that and then find that the next gen is out and ready. It's been a while. The Retroid Pocket 2 has been out on the market for a while. I would probably wait. Especially if you really value having that bigger screen. A good resource for this is retrododo.com. The Retro Dodo has also got a YouTube page, does a ton of coverage on these things. And he started looking at some of the new larger screen entries in these lines from these Chinese manufacturers. And so as a good one comes out, I'm sure everyone will start talking about it and we'll know more then. So I would probably wait. It's only $80 though, so if $80 is like, hey, that's pretty good for like a cool little emulation thing that works really well and can run everything from old consoles up to N64 and Dreamcast and PlayStation 1. I think $80 is not too bad to be like, hey, I got this, and then also I'm now in the habit of buying the next one, the upgrade, as soon as it comes out as well. For me, it's kind of in that zone. But if you don't want to waste the $80, then just wait.
I think I'm going to wait for that next gen one. I think that's when I'm going to finally jump in myself.
Cool.
Jared Helder asks, do you think more Mario sports titles are coming? You talked about this on Grubb Snacks, but man, a lot of people I noticed, both like online and like actual like friends of mine, have been asking about a new Super Mario Strikers.
Yes.
And they own that studio now, and that studio must be working on something after the last Luigi's Mansion, and presumably not immediately the next Luigi's Mansion, even though that's surely going to be like the next game.
Right.
I feel like if Nintendo was smart, they would have put them on Super Mario Strikers, because there seems to be a hunger for that.
Right. I think Strikers makes a lot of sense. It's just going to come down to timing. Like, I think, you're right. Like, they're going to do another Luigi's Mansion eventually. Do they think Luigi's Mansion 3 on Switch is enough to be like, hey, you have one now on Switch, we could start plotting one out and say, hey, we're going to do another one eventually. But between now and when we get to a point where we want that on probably on the next Switch, what do we want to work on? And I think a lot of stuff does line up in favor of Strikers, but I don't think that's the only option available to them. They could try something new. I think this is the team that pitched a Mario wrestling game to Nintendo that got canned because it was too violent. I guess they didn't want to have them do it.
I would like that.
I know that'd be really cool, especially think about
Luigi doing a stunner.
And this is the team that's like got maybe the best animation team in the world after not just Luigi's Mansion 3, but you go back and try their Punch Out for Wii. It's just fantastic stuff, and that could be really cool with like a wrestling game. Probably not going to do a wrestling game though, but they could do like a Punch Out instead if like you just don't know like who wants to make what and what Nintendo wants and what they value.
I feel like Nintendo would be much more for whatever their Mario pitch is right now than another Punch-Out.
I think you're probably right, but I just don't know that for sure. I think you're probably right.
I know. It's always hard to tell.
Yep.
Isaac Spencer asks, if Mario went to Arby's, what would he order? Mozzarella sticks for sure. With that marinara.
Marinara.
I think one of the sliders is some kind of like a pizza slider, so you'd probably get that.
Right.
Yeah. So
and he probably there's an Italian an Italian wrap or something like that. I can't remember exactly. A loaded Italian sandwich or something like that.
He's not getting a wrap though. That sounds too healthy. He's getting just more fried mozzarella sticks.
Mario is basically just Garfield as a almost human. Like he's basically the same thing.
Right. Yeah, I remember in the cartoon, like, because back in like the 90s and 80s, every cartoon character had to have some kind of food item they were addicted to, right? That's why they invented the whole chili dog thing for Sonic. But like in the Mario cartoon, like he was addicted to spaghetti, right? Like he went nuts for it. Yeah. Kyrie Williams has 3 questions, all Dragon Age related. So I'll shoot these to you one at a time. Is Dragon Age 4 single player focused?
Seems like that is the case. Yes, it will probably have some multiplayer stuff, but previous Dragon Age games have also had multiplayer stuff, so yeah.
What engine are they using?
Oh, they'll use Frostbite.
And what are the expectations for the game?
They're pretty big, I think. I don't know exactly like what the metrics they have that they're looking at, but it's going to be a big budget game. It's going to have to do big budget numbers.
All right, that's it for Super Chats for now. If you guys have any more you want to send, I will get to them before the show ends. But what is Discord up to?
Yeah, thank you for reading the Super Chats, Mikey. I think you did a good job.
Okay.
So, hey, I'm just trying to be positive, Mike. You gotta let me. You gotta just accept the compliment. All right.
Are you building me up? Are you telling me you're already leaving me for Giant Bomb completely? Is that what's going on?
Wow, the abandonment issues here, guys. Listen, Mike, I ain't going nowhere. I got your back, buddy. All right. Eric asks, and this is from the Discord. If you want to ask one of these questions, all you gotta do is join the Patreon, and then you get into the podcast producers channel. There's a link to all this stuff, and yeah, it's good. Eric, can you help Miles get his podcast on iTunes? Miles, why isn't your podcast on iTunes?
Is that something people need help with? I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty simple. Yeah.
It
might be.
Just use our sponsor. Sponsor.
Yeah, Anchor.
Anchor, right?
Yeah, Anchor. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I recorded that fun commercial for him. Listen to me. Use Anchor.
Just listen to Mike. So listen to the podcast version. Mike will tell you all about it. It is a Windows Central thing. So maybe it's about like not working with Apple or something like that. Maybe it's more. From our friend Louis Patelli. Hey fellas, happy Friday. So apparently Guerrilla Games is developing a mystery title in parallel with Horizon Forbidden West. Any idea what it is or when it might be unveiled?
Well, so I mean, there was that report before that Sony wanted some of its studios to work on multiplayer, and we know Insomniac is, which surprised me because they're hiring for it and they said it. So Insomniac's doing something multiplayer-ish. I'm guessing Guerrilla Games might have some kind of if not like Sony mandated multiplayer projects, maybe strongly encouraged multiplayer projects.
What? They're not Resistance. They're the killer.
They're Killzone. I don't know. Gosh.
Well, I know. We're not Killzone people. Right.
If it was, there are some Killzone people, so I don't know. Maybe they're bringing Killzone back.
I think there's more Resistance people, surprisingly. I was surprised.
Yeah, but that's Insomniac.
I know that.
I tweeted a bit ago. I was like, did anybody like Resistance? They made 3 of those. Like, a lot of people were mad at me. Like, yes, obviously we liked Resistance. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Nick Turbo, buy one game, rent one game, and one game goes away forever. Like these games, guys. Keep sending them. Super Mario RPG, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, Paper Mario, The 1,000-Year Door. Those
are the 3 good ones. Those are the 3 good ones.
This is tough.
I'm gonna upset Jeff. I'm going to buy Mario RPG, rent 1,000-Year Door. I'm gonna get rid of Mario and Luigi. I'm sorry, they're all good. Those are all the 3 best ones. I just like those other ones more. You haven't played 1,000-Year Door, right? So you don't really know.
I've started it a bunch of times, and the most recent one I have is I'm playing it on the PC emulator upstairs, and I've made a lot of progress, and I'm enjoying it. But even like playing it actively right now, I think I buy Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, I rent Super Mario RPG, and I and Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door goes away forever. It's wild. But the thing is, I always rented Super Mario RPG. That's how I grew up with that game. Is I just rented it like 5 times, and I would like play through it from the beginning each time, and I enjoyed doing it like that. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga is sort of like just the perfect sort of formulation of this idea of the Mario RPG for me. So
it is. Yeah. Look, I'm not trying to say
no,
Mario and Mario Luigi is great, and I actually do want to play it again. It's been a while because I didn't play that remake. I don't really want to play the remake. I just want to play the original.
Right. Yeah. Fawful was great in that. As a good character.
Oh, yeah.
Pinball RJ with another one of these games. Buy, rent, cancel. Dead Space remake, Resident Evil 4 remake, Evil Within 3.
Well, I have no interest in Evil Within. I made my mom play some of Evil Within for an old funny story I did, and that was amusing. But still, no. So I'll buy actually the Dead Space remake. I'm pretty excited for that. I'll rent the Resident Evil 4 remake because like I don't totally think it needs that. Again, Dead Space 1 doesn't either, really. But that's a little bit more exciting to me than like another Resident Evil remake right now. Then I'll get rid of Evil Within 3. Yeah,
I'm gonna get rid of Evil Within 3 as well. Same reason. It's just not my jam. I haven't really tried those games. But Resident Evil 4 remake is the one I'm gonna buy because I think it's the one that does need it the most, and because I could still go back to the game and enjoy it. But when you tell people to go and say, hey, that's like the best Resident Evil, you should go play that, and they're like young and they haven't played it before, they're gonna be like, oh no, these controllers are whack. I actually can't do this, and I want that to go away.
But you need to play it with the chainsaw.
Right, the chainsaw gun. Yes, the chainsaw
really
controller.
Appeal.
Right. Man, that was such a thing. People should.
That's the thing.
I'm gonna make that the podcast art this week. Sewerlink, any thoughts on Nintendo investor call for June 30th and any takeaways you would draw attention to? You know, we didn't have any stories from that, but there was a few things like Furukawa, who's the president, said something along the lines of, so he was asked directly about the revised Switch, and he's like, we haven't talked about it yet, but we will talk about it soon. And people are taking that like, oh, he is confirming that it's real, and it sounds like that's kind of what he's doing, like telling investors like, yeah, it's gonna come, don't worry about it. And there was a few other things like, so he got asked about a Nintendo, like the mini lineup and bringing more games to the Nintendo Switch Online, and he was like presented with those two things, and instead of talking about Nintendo Switch Online, he's like, thank you for your feedback about the mini, it's like something we're thinking about all the time, basically. But then he didn't go on any further, and people are taking that to mean like, oh, this is something that Nintendo is still looking at very much, like the next mini, like in the line of NES to Super NES.
They would. It's been a while since the SNES mini, really.
Yeah.
And, like, they were big hits, so I mean, it's weird that like they had to take 3 years to ponder like doing a Nintendo 64 mini. Like, just do it. But
the issue with the Nintendo 64 mini is that Nintendo 64 emulation is still very tough.
It's tough. You need a lot of rare games on there, and is Microsoft going to play nice? Maybe they played kind of nice before, but like there's like 5 at least rare games that people would expect to be on there. Probably more like 8.
Right.
So it's hard.
It's difficult, and you know, if the hardware, if you like use beefier hardware to like accurately emulate it, it starts losing its profit margin pretty fast. So
a Game Boy Mini seems like that would be a slam dunk. Just like basically release a Game Boy with games built in now.
I agree.
That's all you would do, and yeah, I'd pay $100 for that or whatever stupid price would be.
From Raymond goes, happy Friday to BEFF and Chez. Beef and cheese, maybe.
I'm cheese.
Okay, and I'm beef. All right, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I've decided this.
All right, no, that's cool. Yeah, it's the beef reporting in. Ray goes on to say, congrats on the giant bomb gig, Jeff. Thank you. You jamoka me crazy with all this Dead Space hype. Very good. Anyway, let's kill a game. All right, we're lots of games this week. I love it. You must buy one, rent one, and one goes away forever. Forever. Yeah, there we go. Silent Hill 2, The Evil Within, or Alan Wake. Wow, we got another Evil Within.
Yeah.
This is a weird one. I like it, though. So Silent Hill 2, Evil Within, Alan Wake.
This is it. So, okay, Silent Hill 2 I actually did play, and it is good. It is very good. So I'll buy that. Alan Wake, I have never played, and I'm very ashamed of that, so I'll rent that. Evil Within doesn't do anything for me. It can go away forever.
Yeah, if it was Evil Within 2, this would be a little bit harder for me, because Evil Within 2 I've heard good things about, and I would want to try, and I would rent that one. But because it's Evil Within 1, that's going to go away forever, and then I will I'll buy Alan Wake and I'll rent Silent Hill 2. I played through a lot of Alan Wake and I thought it was okay at the time. I kind of want to give it another shot. So yeah. From Blake Merritt, with Ghost of Tsushima doing a director's cut as opposed to Miles Morales' approach, what other games do you expect to get a director's cut? Also, since Ghost was just a Twitter drop, do you think we will get Death Stranding director's cut Twitter drop release date soon? So,
Okay.
Yeah, we could for that last one. I think we could get that pretty soon. I think yes. It was odd, like, you know, what they're deciding to make a director's cut, and what they're making an expand alone, as it's called apparently. And
well, I think Miles Morales, for one thing, that was a bigger scope than I think this
clearly
a new island will be
Clearly.
for Tsushima. Also, it was a way for them to have a new game, quote unquote, for the PlayStation 5 launch, right? So that's
Right.
part of it.
But I think expandalones do better, though, I think, than these expansions and Game of the Year editions. But I guess not on a new console.
So the question is Last of Us Part 2, really, right? Because
Yes, that's the one.
Last of Us 1 had a kind of expandalone thing. So are they going to just like make the whatever that's going to be for Last of Us Part 2 and release it on PlayStation 5? Or is it going to be like the Last of Us Part 2 director's cut that comes with that as a bonus? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Depends on the size and scope and scale of it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it, though. I agree. From Jimmy DeBra, I'm sure you guys will talk about it or have by the time this question comes up, but no Dragon Age 4 at the EA show surprises me. Nothing is better than just another dev diary type video, but with all the changes to the game, turnover at BioWare, should we be worried? We don't think this is something that you should be worried about. This is not what this is a sign of. I think, you know, I think the best evidence you can look to like see what BioWare is doing right now is the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and most people seem really happy with that. I think EA and BioWare are both pretty proud of that. So that's the state of BioWare at the moment. Not this. This is just more about allocating resources. From Tane, who is someone I can get into. Do you think there's any? Yeah, I think about that one all the time. Do you think there's any chance Konami would return to Castlevania with a 2D AAA entry similar to Metroid Dread?
2D AAA.
Probably not.
Like, this is a little beside the point, but I am slightly surprised that the big Konami franchise everyone is apparently clamoring for like crazy is Silent Hill and not Metal Gear or Castlevania. But
it's just like that's just like the horror fans, right? They like, if you're into horror, you're really into it, and you have to sort of carry these torches for years and years and years because there's not a lot of other options. I guess we're getting more indie horror games than ever, but people grew up on these ones and they really want more of them. I guess the same is all true for Castlevania, but I guess we just get a lot of 2D Metroidvania games now, and really the spiritual successors to Castlevania are the FromSoft games. Like, if you want like modern day AAA Castlevania like games, like go play Dark Souls,
or literally Iga's new things with Bloodstain.
Right, of course, yeah.
I mean, could Konami just pay Iga and Inti Creates and whoever to just make a new Castlevania? They could. I don't think they're going to.
Me neither. From Nick Turbo, do you think Battlefield 2042 should have a free-to-play mode?
It won't.
It doesn't seem like it will. I think it probably should, but I don't know. I guess there's one. This is like maybe their last chance to see how one of these does as a premium priced experience. Try to make it as appealing as possible. They've done a good job so far. Let's see how it does. And maybe one of these games can actually work in this day and age, but I'll be surprised. And I won't be surprised if eventually they do have a free-to-play mode because things didn't work out. All right, a few more. From Epic Open World new patron, thank you so much. Glad to support the Arby's boys. Thank you. Yep. Question: with Dragon Age not being shown at EA Play, where do you think they are at with development on that game? Is this game a 2023 game? Probably 2023, right? Yeah.
At the earliest? Maybe early 2023.
Right.
Because I mean, you have to think that, I don't know, maybe they don't want to release close to Starfield, right? And that's going to be the late 2022 thing. So yeah, maybe 2023 makes more sense.
Yeah, I think that's they're just at the point in development where they got done with Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and now anyone that was working on that should be working on Dragon Age is now shifting over to that and going full steam ahead and trying to get all that stuff done. They're just in the midst of probably like not like pre-production, but like that next step where they're actually producing the game and putting everything together, but still the early phases of that, I would imagine. Jackson Tench. Now that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 is out on all platforms, it seems like support for that game is likely finished. Do we expect more from Tony Hawk, or did the sales not meet expectations? Thus the dissolve of Vicarious Visions. There were slight rumblings of 3+4 just before E3, but nothing ever came of it.
Well, first, Vicarious Visions isn't dissolved. They just kind of got absorbed into...
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Like, they still seem to be their own entity, but they are, like, a part of Blizzard now, and they are working for Blizzard. So that's the weird thing, right? Like, who's going to make it now? Because it's not going to be them. Who's going to make the Tony Hawk 3 remake? I mean, I'm not going to be Toys for Bob, because, you know, we know their strategy at Activision Blizzard right now is pretty much Call of Duty, Blizzard. Like that's it. And then maybe some mobile stuff with King. But the Crash Bandicoot seems to be something that's already on the back burner again. Tony Hawk, I think absolutely it's the same way. Who's going to make these games?
Yeah, I you know, Beanox did the ports to Switch. I don't know if they're in a place where they would be able to create the new content for a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 edition. I'm just not familiar, but I mean, maybe that studio... Yeah, I don't know. I think that this game seems like it's done. I know that there was talk. I bet there was talks about it, about 3+4, and they just said, "Hey, let's not do that. We're gonna have this team go work on this other stuff for Blizzard instead. That's more important."
Yeah, making sure Diablo 2 is a hit is important, and I think they're hoping on even Diablo 4, really. Yeah, just beyond just remakes for Blizzard.
Another one from Epic Open World is, although Left 4 Dead likes a direct response to publishers realizing they can't break into the Battle Royale market at this point, and they need games that can monetize over the long term. I think that is definitely part of it. Like, probably they want these games that are multiplayer, that are connected, that people can play with their friends for long periods of time. That's a big reason why Battle Royales do work. But maybe you can't compete with Fortnite and Apex Legends and whatever else head to head, but you still want to like work in that kind of that vein of like a shooter and stuff like that. Yeah, that's probably a big part of it. And I think there's just like we're at the right point of like the trend line where we've been separated from those games for long enough that it's clear Valve's not going to do another one. So a lot of people probably just greenlight it at the same time, saying, "Hey, if they're not going to do it, it's safe for us to try that ourselves." I think. From Nick Turbo, Left 4 Dead is great, Jeff Grubb's co-host.
Wow. I'm not saying it is. I'm not going to pretend it's a bad game. Just was not necessarily ever my thing. I played it the most when like that demo for the first one came out. Like that, it was just one level. I played that a bit. I played Left 4 Dead 1 a bit. I don't think I touched the sequel barely. I think I was already a little over it by that point.
Two more. Nick Turbo asks again, when will we start seeing games released with Unreal Engine 5? Probably 2023, I think. That's probably right. Maybe late 2022, but probably... You could get some games in 2022 that were ported from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5, and probably not a lot of stuff was done in Unreal Engine 5 natively, but maybe one or two things. But mostly, this is a wave that's going to start hitting in 2023. And then finally, Low Rule asks, what is your favorite non-beer alcohol of choice?
Scotch. Right now, I'm a big Scotch guy. Lagavulin 16 is my favorite if I can get it. But bourbon's good, too. I really enjoy bourbon. Yeah, margaritas are also good if I'm in a summery mood.
Yeah, I like bourbon. I went to a screening. This is a long time ago now, but I went to a screening of The Hateful Eight at the Alamo Drafthouse, and it was a whiskey dinner, and they gave us some bourbons as part of that. And it was just like 4 shots in front of us, and you know, it was just really cool to like get these fantastic bourbons all throughout the movie, and it like really set the atmosphere. But then. Yeah, I like gin and tonics as well. That's my summary drink. Gin and tonics. Okay, Mike, that's all the questions I have. I believe you might have got a few more super chats, right?
Yeah, we got a few more super chats. Let's get through some of these. So Hitch asks, "Where is Wolfenstein 3?" We talked about this before, we don't know. Probably not anytime soon. They're going to be busy with Indiana Jones.
Seems like.
Yep. KChow21 asks, could the Blue Point Games acquisition fall apart?
I don't know. It's the kind of thing where they made that mistake where the PlayStation Japan posted an image where instead of Returnal and Housemarque, they've said, hey, welcome Blue Point, and it had Blue Point's logo, and then it wasn't just Blue Point's logo, they also put like the Demon Souls imagery in there next to Returnal, like it was like happening as well. It's just such a weird mistake to make if it's a mistake.
Right. Like somebody made that asset at some point.
Right,
for a reason.
someone was asked to make that asset specifically like that. So I don't know. I guess it could fall apart. I think Sony's going to make it happen though. That would be my guess.
Do we still? I forget if you were talking about this, but I know at some point there was a rumor that Blue Point is just making a remake of Metal Gear Solid 1 for Sony. Is that? Do you still believe that?
I think so. That's the one.
Jeff.
I'm sorry. I know. Hey man, long night.
You say long night as if you were at the steel mill, like working a double shift. You were watching Ted Lasso
on a tablet in bed. Yeah. I forget the question. Metal Gear Solid Blue Point. Yeah. I think that makes so much sense to me. It makes a lot of sense. It's such a good use.
Maybe that's what Kojima was alluding to, right? Like, why else would he do the whole giving, like handing over the reins thing unless he knew somebody had the reins? Right.
So that makes so much sense to me. So
we're speculating here. We don't know anything.
Yeah, we're speculating. It just like. That's a franchise that could use that for Konami. Sony would love that. It's a game that is definitely old enough that people don't even like. When you talk about the best Metal Gear games, a lot of people don't bring it up, even though I think it's probably still my favorite.
A lot of people bring it up. You're wrong there.
I hope I'm wrong. No, I would love to be wrong. Okay, yeah. When I hear people talk about it, I hear them like put it at like number 3 or 4 at the best. But I just probably listen to the wrong people, Mike.
Doesn't at least have it at 2.
I hope you're right.
It's always that or Snake Eater are the two that are.
Well, you know what? Chat's here, and I hope that you're right. But everyone put it like, what is Metal Gear Solid 1? Where does it rank in your Metal Gear Solid rankings? Okay, yeah. And then any other super chats?
Yes, there's a few more. Hitch is back and asks, "Will we hear about Uncharted 4 for PC soon?"
I think we will. It feels like it's the kind of thing that they're going to announce in a tweet like they have been with a lot of this other stuff over the summer. Did the most recent one from Sony hit yet? Did it come out? What was that going to be? That was.
I can't.
Oh, Days Gone, right? Or was it Days?
Yeah, they've done Horizon and Days Gone so far.
And
right?
Days Gone came out, so yeah, we'll probably hear about it pretty soon, I think.
Gaming Dad says, "Dope chair. Will Madden for Switch be at EA Play?" I've seen you talk about your chair with the Captain America logo, not my super plain black Secret Labs one.
I mean, they'll talk about it in like the run up to the EA Play proper. They're gonna have like a EA Sports thing. They might mention the Switch version, but I don't know.
I mean, it'll look uglier, so you imagine they're not going to want to show it on screen for too long.
Right, yeah. They'll show someone maybe like playing it off screen over their shoulder like that.
All right, our YouTube friends are getting into this buy, rent, kill thing. Brent Template, buy, rent, kill, Wolfenstein, Elder Scrolls, or Fallout. Oh, here's where I could really make Jeff mad. Jeff's not going to like this at all, but I will buy Elder Scrolls, rent Fallout, and kill Wolfenstein.
Wow.
I like Wolfenstein. I like Elder Scrolls and Fallout more.
I love Fallout, but I'm getting rid of Fallout, and I will...
Wow.
Oh, man, this is a tough one because I love Elder Scrolls and I love Wolfenstein. But until we get Wolfenstein 3, it is buy Wolfenstein for me and then rent Elder Scrolls. I feel good about that.
I've liked some Fallout games more than I've ever liked any of the Elder Scrolls games, but like Fallout's also... There's something about it that gets kind of samey. Like there's only so much you can do with it. To me, it feels like.
I agree.
Whereas Elder Scrolls, like there's some more.
I just completely wander in Elder Scrolls and have a great time for hundreds of hours doing that, and it's great.
Like I'm more excited to see where Elder Scrolls 6 is going. Then, like I can kind of see Fallout 5 in my head already.
Yeah.
Like I think I know what I'm expecting from that. Brett Templin asks, "You seen the leaked Spider-Man Far From Home trailer? Epic." I have not seen it. Probably won't if it's just leaked. I'll just wait for an official trailer.
Yeah, same.
Jay Stud McLovin, buy, rent, kill, WarioWare, Beef and Cheddars, and Betty White. Well, I'm going to buy beef and cheddars, obviously. Rent WarioWare and just murder Betty White, apparently. She had a
Wow.
good
I mean,
run.
she's had a good life. You're right. Oh, wow. The kids are yelling at me. Hey, go upstairs. I'm almost done.
They're begging you to say Betty
Yeah.
White.
Betty White is like 100. I think that it's okay to kill her. Please don't clip that. And then...
No, clip only that,
and then,
please.
I'm going to buy the beef and cheddar.
Betty White is 100. It's okay to kill her.
And then I'm going to rent WarioWare. Yes. I feel good about that.
I'm surprised. I mean, I know that we're on this big Arby's kick, but you love your WarioWare.
Yeah, but I'm rent. That's a good rental. That's a great rental.
That's good. All right, good. Mattathias asks, excited for any of the runs at Summer Games Done Quick? For me, it's Majora's Mask. Man, I know I looked at that list when it came out. I can't remember exactly. When does that start? I have to find out because I love Games Done Quick. So I gotta make sure that I am ready for the event this year. Is there anything you remember? Oh gosh, it starts on July 4th. That's what?
I didn't know that. I haven't looked at it at all,
God.
so I haven't.
I almost wish it didn't start in the week. Oh my gosh, they're doing on day 1. We have a F-Zero GX, and I just been playing that all tracks. There's a Mega Man X run, Kirby Superstar, Oracle of Ages. There's just day 1. They always do pack pretty well, but there's already just a ton. Oh man, Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, Chameleon Twist, hell yeah, Dawn of Sorrow, Rondo of Blood. Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. It's always super fun. So I may not be able to watch much on Sunday because I'm doing something with family, but I'll be keeping a close eye on that event, and we'll be enjoying that. Maybe we need a channel, Jeff, where we can talk about.
Ooh, yeah, good idea.
Talk about Game Quick as it happens.
Yeah, we'll set that up. That'd be a really good way to kind of keep track of that stuff.
Look at you. You got a poll with 14. Oh, look at that, Jeff.
Wow. No, listen, I love this. This is I just need to get better taste, or I need to listen to podcasts with people who have better taste.
If only you had a friend who is something of a retro gaming expert to tell you these things. Who had his pulse.
I feel like you're like taking this as a judgment upon yourself somehow, and it's not that at all, Mike. God.
It's all about me, just like everything else.
All right, no more super chats, no more questions, right?
For now, one more super chat. Quick question:
Awesome.
How would you grade the first half of the year for the big 3? Love the conversation and back and forth. Love you guys.
Thank you.
That's interesting because hasn't it been kind of slow for all? It feels like for all 3 of them, it's been kind of slow, right?
Yeah. So everything up to the end of June is the first half of the year, right? So I think that Returnal and Ratchet are pretty solid for Sony.
Right. So Sony definitely had the biggest games come out. So like, if we're just comparatively, they have to get an A, I think.
Yeah, I like Mario Golf. It's pretty good, but it's
a lot of people seem really cool on Mario Golf.
Yes, they definitely do, because it is not made for us. It's made for the Mario Party audience, so it's just kind of a bummer. But I still like it. I still enjoy it, but it's not like the best Mario Golf ever, and so it's just kind of like, okay, they kind of went through the motions here in terms of what I want. And so Nintendo kind of falls behind Sony and I would probably rank them right now saying Sony had the best first half of the year. I think that Microsoft's done a lot of good jobs of keeping Game Pass feeling nice, but nothing groundbreaking. And Dark Alliance was kind of crap. Apparently, I haven't touched it. And then Nintendo was probably in the back there, actually, just because not a lot happening there.
Yeah, I think that sounds about. So let's say A for Sony, B for Microsoft, C for Nintendo.
Yeah, like maybe a C plus for Microsoft and a C for Nintendo, kind of in that range. Okay. Yeah.
Which is shocking because I know that we're biased against Sony again. I feel silly bring that up every time we say something positive about Sony. But
that's what it feels like, though, for sure.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. All right, that's it for super chats.
All right.
I think we're caught up on questions.
Yeah, we are. I want to talk about a few games, and then we're going to get out of here, Mike.
Oh, gosh. Monster Hunter Rise for Nintendo was pretty good, huh? I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, then. The Monster Hunter Rise, I haven't tried it yet.
B- for Nintendo, then. B-.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
I forgot about Monster Hunter.
And you said A for Sony. Personally, I think I'll probably do a B+, but I guess Ratchet's so good. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Ratchet is good enough.
Yeah, Ratchet's good enough for an A.
Again, it's like I didn't like Returnal, but
yeah, and I thought it was okay.
Bravely Default 2 disappointed me. People bringing that up. And I'm shocked because I've seen more people say really nice things about it, but I couldn't get into Bravely Default 2, and I love the first.
You're not the only one. I've heard a lot of people not getting into that one.
I might need to try, just get back to it and push myself through a bit more of it. I don't know.
All right, we're going to talk about some more video games right after this. All right, Mike. Do you need anything, or are you good to just do a quick game segment and we'll get out of here?
I'm good. I'm just hungry, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
eat
me
my
too.
din soon. So
Okay.
we'll finish this up and.
All right, everybody, thank you for watching on YouTube Live. You can hit that like button for the last little bit. It would really help. And then, yeah.
Okay.
What?
So let's get back to it.
Okay.
Well, Pablo just reminded me of Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, oh God. I forgot that was this year. All right, we're back, and we are coming to you with our hats in hand. We feel ashamed about what we've done here today.
Yeah, I forgot that Bowser's Fury came out this year. Also, that was pretty early, wasn't it?
That was, it was like February, right? It's still the first half of the year, yeah.
But that was fantastic. Bowser's Fury was great, and then they turned 3D World into a game that I was like a skeptic of to being one of my favorite Mario games.
Yep, it's fantastic. Yeah, Nintendo maybe had an A as well.
I'll still say B. I still don't know. Again, Ratchet is so good. I still don't know if I can say it was better than PlayStation.
Right.
But,
yeah,
Nintendo was, and there was between that and then we had Monster Hunter, but not a whole lot. Still, it definitely felt like it was slow for Switch for a while. So I'll say B.
Mike, I've been playing a game called Cruelty Squad, and it's hard to explain, but it's basically like an immersive sim that kind of plays a little bit like GoldenEye, and it just looks like a nightmare. It sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it sounds kind of
yeah,
cool.
It looks like a game that has been left out in the sun too long.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like a game that has gone, it has expired, has spoiled, and has a rank smell about it, and yet there's you can't look away.
Why are you playing this? Why are you playing this? That's awful.
Because it's kind of like it's, I don't know, it's something about its repulsiveness also attracts me. It's fun. I don't know. It's got an attitude. It's a style. It's a choice. All these things are deliberate choices, and you go in there and it's it is deliberate bad vibes, the game, but it does some fun stuff with it where it's an immersive sim, so it gives you a bunch of ways to accomplish your goals. It's just like, here's some targets in a level, go get them. And the first time I was having a lot of trouble because I was just trying to go through the front door, and I died a bunch of times, and eventually I realized I could just go around up this ladder, go around. I didn't even think this game would have this as an option, but when I started coming up behind everybody, it was like, oh, this is way easier, and it was way cooler. And all the levels have these sort of multiple paths that you can take, and it's just like an immersive sim, and you can get a barrel, pick it up, set it down in front of a window, hop on the barrel, hop through the window, and kind of get into a house in a way you weren't supposed to, right? But they totally accounted for that. But really, it is about just being weird, and it sounds it's just, the music is unsettling, and there's a stock market mini game where as you earn money for doing these jobs, you can invest it in the stock market, and the stock market has stuff like flesh fish, and you could pick up, when you kill an enemy, you can sometimes they drop their kidneys or their hearts or their tactical their tactical livers, and
wait,
you're
what?
Yeah,
what do you mean tactical liver?
I think there's livers and there's tactical livers, and I think the tactical livers are just much better at consuming alcohol or something like that. But you could pick this stuff up, and then you could sell that stuff on the market. But you could also just buy and sell stocks and companies that you I killed the CEO of one of the companies, and their stock went up because the Illuminati that runs
Sounds
this
like
world.
Insider trading.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Yeah. Oh, but I used to work for the SEC Death Squad. Apparently, that's a big part of this game. It's wild and weird. I'm really actually liking it quite a bit. I kind of can't stop thinking about it. Yeah,
wow.
it's $20 on Steam. It's down to 17 right now, and it's overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam. And I think a lot of that's just sort of kind of memeing a little bit, but honestly, it's a fun game too. It's not you'll have a good time as long as you know what you're getting into, and you're not oh, this is going to be the next AAA game. No, this is what it is. It's a nightmare. And then I've been playing Phantom Abyss. Have you heard about this game?
Well, someone recommended this to us last week. I think is why you were playing it. You said you're going to check it out.
That's right. Phantom. I forgot it was coming out, and then I went to go play it, and I also cannot stop playing this one. It is. It's a roguelite where you are Indiana Jones, basically. It's first person, and you run really fast, you can jump, you can get some upgrades, like a double jump maybe, but that's a maybe thing that you might get on your run. But you have a whip on every run, and the whip is something it's kind of there's like a cooldown to it, but if you time it right, as well, you could do like really long jumps and then whip the level and then whip yourself over to the other side of a gap or whatever. It's very all that stuff works very well for me. Some of the other cool aspects of it is the world is random each time you play. But if you're playing it, it means either you're the first person to ever play it, or everyone else who has played this like set of levels died at some point. And so if that's the case, you'll see their ghosts, and you're like racing against their ghosts, or you can like look to them and see what they did wrong to try to avoid the same pitfalls. But if you end up getting through all those stages, the game will take that random collection out of rotation, and you will be the only person to ever beat that set of levels. And it makes it feel collaborative and multiplayer, like a multiplayer game, even though it's asynchronous. And it also just kind of makes it feel like everything you're doing is a little bit more valuable because it's unique. Now, it's not super unique because everything still is kind of being built from prefab parts, and you're going to recognize these prefab parts a lot. But it's still, I can't stop playing it. I've heard other people say, "Hey, I tried it. I thought it was cool. I might never play it again," or I played it for half an hour. I'm going to wait until they put more into the game because it's in early access right now. But for me, it is totally my thing, and I can't stop playing it. And I guess I think I recommend it because I don't see what people are bouncing off of. But I guess I'm also the person that played 100 hours of Astro's speedrun and never beat that game because I just did the Astro's Playroom. Yeah, never beat it, and because I just kept doing the speedrun stuff over and over. So that's me. I know.
It takes like 3 hours to beat.
I know.
The campaign is great. I hate you, but what is new there? Yeah. I want to check it out, but you know me, I'm a little different from you. Like I like to wait for after the early access. To see,
that's fine. Yeah,
what it has like become in its quote unquote final form.
Right, but that's it for me. How about you? What have you been into?
Well, that's not the only thing. We played something else.
That's true. On Sunday the problem is I played like for an hour, and I'm not sure how long you guys kept playing after that. Sea of Thieves.
A couple of more hours. Yeah, you finally played a game with me for a little bit. You played with me and my brothers as we.
You're like, we're gonna start now, and I'm like, I have a podcast scheduled for an hour after that. And it was very stressful to get my kids fed and ready for bed, and with enough time then go play games and then go right to a podcast. So. You should be thankful. You should be grateful, honestly.
You're always doing podcasts or something. Make time for me, Jeff. I put all of the work into this relationship. Well, do you have fun playing Pirate's Life for me?
I did. I keep thinking about that one too. I would love to go back and play some more. It's Sea of Thieves is really fun, I think, now, where it's they figured out what it is, and it's just this like. Yeah. It's a Disney ride, right? It's almost like a Disney queue. It's like a line that you're going to wait in, and maybe the ride never really necessarily has to happen, but they can like give you cool stuff that's happening around you while you're hanging out with your friends, and it really worked for me.
Yeah, I will say like there was a bit too much of waiting for people to talk. Like there was times where we thought we were solving a puzzle to advance, and we were supposed to just wait for somebody to stop talking and the door would open. And things like that, which was. And remember when we started, there was that voodoo lady who just talked forever.
Yeah.
But we even have fun that because you were just like randomly making your character show us a book, and that for some reason was very silly. But it was fun. I think we had more fun after you left because you weren't there anymore. But then we were just kind of more playing the game and like sailing around and going to islands and stuff. And like at one point, like some people were shooting at our ship. And they sunk it, but we like abandoned ship and we like boarded their ship and just started killing all of them, and that was fun. But even that was spoiled a little bit because then they just like we wiped them, but they somehow just respawned and killed us, and I was like, that's not fair. We killed them. We have their boat. They can't just respawn and then come back and get us. So, but it was a good time, and it is certainly a kind of make your own fun game, but they give you a lot of good tools for doing that.
Yeah.
And I want to explore more of this. Pirates of the Caribbean thing. The part we played had a lot of callbacks to the ride, which I was enjoying immensely. That's good stuff. Aside from that, though, I mean, I talked about how I played Metroid on the the NES version recently, and then I was like, I want to start Super Metroid again for funsies, and just have been playing that whole game again. I'm actually like right before going down to Mother Brain. I just played the whole thing again. Super Metroid sure is a good video game, it turns out.
And it's man, those games should all be on the Switch because it just works so well on the Switch.
Yeah, it is great that I played Metroid 1, now I'm playing Super Metroid. Yeah, it is upsetting that I can't just play Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission on my Switch right now. Like, why the heck not? But hopefully soon, maybe. But yeah, I'm getting ready for Well, I have that GameCube back up, and it's been a long time since I played the GameCube version of Metroid Prime, and that's something I think I might be starting up soon.
You should, because I'm still doing that right now, and it's just still great, still fantastic.
Yep. But yeah, that's about it. Aside from constantly playing a Final Fantasy 14, which is still always happening.
Cool. Well, that's gonna do it for us. We got a lot of questions in there, so we got a long show, but that's how we like it around now.
My raid team was asking where you're at when I was raiding on Wednesday in Final Fantasy 14. I tried to explain how this is the last game you'd probably ever play, sadly. But
someday I might try an MMO, and if that's still the one that's hot, yeah, well, maybe. But I've never even played WoW, so I don't know if
Yeah, man, I tell you what, I would really have to help you out, because you would not be familiar with any of the verbiage.
I would. Yes, no, I
would love to just be like, all right, you need to double weave between your GCDs, Jeff, and don't forget about your slide casting. Oh, you got too much aggro. Jeff, you have too much aggro, Jeff. What are you doing? You have too much aggro, Jeff.
Stop yelling at me.
Jeff, you're forgetting your double weaves, your rotation.
Oh my god.
Okay, don't forget we're pre-pooling.
I'm O for I don't even know how many things you said there.
I love it. That'd be fun. Oh god.
All right. Well, that sounds like a stressful time. So I'm gonna pass. Thanks. Precast, Jeff. Precast. I'm precast. I know how to pre-fire, like when you're in Call of Duty. I do that. But all right, everybody. We're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go lie down and post this podcast on the internet. You know what? I gotta hit the thing where I do the thing. You know, I never actually turned on my background removal thing. So you probably did hear my kids yelling back there.
I told you at the very beginning.
It was on at that point. It was on at that point. So
you say so.
I turned it off and then back on, and then I turned it off.
Your audio was immaculate for Grubb Snacks or Giant Bomb, is all I'm saying. And then I get I get the leftovers.
Man, it really is loud there too. That sucks. Okay, we have music playing now. Mike, what are you gonna do this weekend?
I always go to my one aunt's 4th of July since I was a kid. She has a nice big lake I could do some fishing on, so I'll be fishing and drinking some beers is what I think I'll be doing on 4th of July. Although every 4th of July, I also watch 1776, the 1970 musical starring the guy who played Mr. Feeney as John Adams. So
I might watch that because you pitched this to me before. I'm like, that does sound good. We do watch Independence Day though, with Will Smith.
I've never seen Independence Day. Not once.
I hate I forgot that about you.
I thought it was a scary movie as a kid. I was confused about it because they just kept showing the White House getting blown up. I was like, well, that's scary. I'm not gonna watch this.
I thought it was a Kurt Russell sci-fi movie for some reason. There was another one that came around that time, and so I too did not see it right away. But then my family was like, "We're all going," and then I did, like months after it came out, and I loved it ever since. Mike, it's a great movie. But
I'm sure it's good.
We did say that we were gonna like get all dressed up for Independence Day, but I was too lazy to actually go through with that. You're just
did not happen.
You're at least dressed up for summer, so you're looking good on that front.
You have an let me see what's that Advance Wars shirt about. That looks neat.
Yeah, it's Advance Wars.
There you go. Although whenever you buy a shirt, they then like get pulled for like.
Yeah, I need to stop saying anything about it. I guess I don't know. I mean, as long as I get them, I don't care. That's other people's problem.
Look at that waifu. How is she not in Smash?
Yeah. No, you absolutely.
They love their waifus, especially. I did actually play Kazuya, the tech character in Smash. He seems fun.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you a little bit about that, but yeah, oh well. Why don't you tell people where they could find you on the internet?
Find me on Twitter at Tolkoto, Tolkoto. New 90s Disney is out about Darkwing Duck, so check that out at 90sdisney.com. And
I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitter. I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitch. If you're listening to this on the podcast version, come hang out with us on Fridays. We do this live on YouTube. YouTube.com/Jeffrey Grubb. I'll probably put a link in the description. All right, everybody, have a good weekend. Have a safe 4th of July.
Grubb Snacks, you're allowed. Come on, when's Grubb Snacks?
Check out Grubb Snacks. That's live on Thursdays on GiantBomb.com. First episode's free up and stuff. You can get that, but the next one's going to be premium. GiantBomb.com/upgrade or whatever. All right, we're out of here. The music's already played us off. Bye, everybody.
Oh, bye. We blew it.